You pick up your phone, you check it, there's nothing new. You put it down, and 30 seconds later, you pick it up again. Still nothing new. You knew there wouldn't be. You checked anyway. If this sounds familiar, you are not broken, and you are not alone. There is a reason your hand reaches for that device before your mind decides to. Today, we are going to understand exactly why. Because the thing you reach for to feel better is often the thing making you feel worse, and your brain genuinely cannot tell the difference in the moment. This is one of the strangest loops in modern human behavior. It is not laziness, it is not weakness, it is design meeting biology. Once you see it clearly, you get a kind of freedom most people never find. So let's start with the paradox at the center of all of it. Your phone is the source of your anxiety, and also the thing you use to escape it. Think about that. The medication and the disease are the same object. You feel uneasy, so you check. Checking calms you for about 4 seconds. Then the unease comes back, often a little stronger than before. So you check again, and the loop tightens one more turn. This is not a flaw in you. It is a feature of the system you're inside. To understand the loop, we have to look at what's happening in your brain. There are 3 systems involved, and they were all built long before phones existed. The first is your reward system. The second is your threat system. The third is your need to belong, to be seen, to not be left out. Your phone has learned to press all 3 at once. That's its genius and its danger. Let's take them one at a time. Start with reward and a man who studied pigeons. In the 1930s, a psychologist named B.F. Skinner ran a famous experiment. He gave animals a lever. Press it, get a reward. Simple. But then he changed one thing. The reward became unpredictable. Sometimes a reward, sometimes nothing. You never knew which. And that small change made the behavior nearly impossible to stop. This is called a variable reward schedule. It is the most addictive pattern known. Predictable rewards get boring. Unpredictable rewards become a compulsion. Now think about pulling down to refresh your feed. Sometimes there's something great, sometimes nothing. You never know which. That is not an accident. That is the slot machine rebuilt in your pocket. Every pull triggers a small release of dopamine, the molecule of anticipation. And here's the twist most people get wrong about dopamine. Dopamine isn't the chemical of pleasure. It's the chemical of wanting. It spikes before the reward. In the chase, in the maybe, that's why the checking feels more urgent than the thing you find. The anticipation is the hook. The content is almost beside the point. Your brain is chasing the maybe, over and over, all day long. That's reward. Now let's look at the system that makes it feel like survival. Every notification is a tiny alarm, and your body treats alarms as danger. The sound alone raises your cortisol, your main stress hormone. This happens before you even look at the screen. Your ancient brain can't tell a buzz from a predator in the grass, so it floods your system just in case. Heart rate up, attention narrowing. You check the phone. The alarm quiets. Relief. And your brain files away a lesson. Checking equals relief. So next time the unease rises, you reach again. The loop deepens. This is negative reinforcement. You're not chasing pleasure. You're escaping discomfort. And escaping discomfort is an even stronger driver than seeking joy. This is why the loop survives even when the phone stops being fun. You're not doing it for the dopamine high anymore. You're doing it to stop the dread. And here's the cruel part. The phone is often the cause of the dread, the bad news, the comparison, the unfinished message, all in the same device. So the tool you grab to calm down is loaded with the very things that wind you up. Your nervous system is caught in a feedback loop it cannot win, unless you can see the loop from the outside, which is what we're doing now. That's the threat system. Now the third force, the one about other people. Humans survive by belonging to a group. Exclusion meant death, so your brain monitors your social standing constantly, quietly, relentlessly, and your phone is now the main window into where you stand. Likes, replies, who saw your message, who didn't answer. Each one is a tiny verdict on your worth, or it feels that way. Being seen feels like safety. Being ignored feels like a threat. So an unanswered message can sit in your chest like a stone. It's not vanity, it's a survival instinct pointed at a screen. This is why social apps hold the tightest grip of all. They don't just offer reward, they tie that reward to your place in the tribe. So checking isn't optional. It feels like checking whether you still exist to others. That's a powerful hook. And it runs underneath your conscious choices. Reward, threat, belonging. Three ancient systems, all captured by one device. No wonder it's hard to put down. You're not fighting a habit. You're fighting your wiring. And yet, there is a strange ghost in this machine worth knowing about. Have you ever felt your phone buzz and it wasn't even there? That's called phantom vibration syndrome. And almost everyone has it. Around 9 in 10 smartphone users report feeling it. Your brain is so primed for the signal that it manufactures it. It has learned to expect the buzz so deeply, it hallucinates one. Think about how strong a pattern has to be to do that. This is your nervous system reshaped around a device. It's a little unsettling, but it's also proof of something hopeful. If the brain can be shaped this way, it can be reshaped another way. That's neuroplasticity, and it's the foundation of every solution we'll get to. But before solutions, one quick thing. If this is making the invisible visible for you, subscribe. We do this every single time. Now, one of the loudest fears the phone feeds is the fear of missing out. That fear has a name, FOMO, and it is real and measurable. Studies link it to higher anxiety, lower mood, and yes, higher cortisol. Here's the trap. You check the phone to ease the fear of missing out, but the feed is full of everyone else's highlights. So the fear grows. The cure becomes the cause. Again, same shape as before. You go looking for relief and come back more convinced you're behind. There's an antidote, and it also has a name. JOMO, the joy of missing out. The quiet relief of not needing to know everything. It turns out not knowing can feel like freedom once you let it. But you can't reason your way into JOMO. The pull is physical, which is why willpower alone almost always fails here. You are one tired person versus 1,000 engineers who study your attention. That's not a fair fight, and pretending it is just makes you feel ashamed. So let's drop the shame and understand what the phone is really standing in for. Decades ago, researchers studied how children calm themselves. They found something children reach for, a transitional object, a blanket, a stuffed bear, something that means safety when the world feels big. The object isn't magic, it's a bridge to feeling held. As adults, we never lose that need. We just hide it better. And the phone has quietly become the adult transitional object. Notice when you reach for it. Often it's a moment of small discomfort, a pause in conversation, a wait in line, a second of boredom or doubt. The phone fills the gap before you even feel the gap. This isn't childish, it's deeply human. Self-soothing is a real need. The problem isn't that you self-soothe, it's what you're using to do it. Because this particular blanket also bites. It soothes the small discomfort and quietly feeds the larger one. So the goal isn't to never self-soothe. We all need that. The goal is to give that ancient need something that doesn't bite back. Quick question for you. What's the very first thing you do when you wake up? Phone or something else? Be honest in the comments. No judgment here. Let's go deeper. What is the phone actually giving you in those moments? Three things mostly: stimulation, distraction, and the feeling of presence. Stimulation because boredom feels intolerable to a modern brain. We've lost the ability to just sit with an empty moment. Distraction because the phone pulls you away from whatever you'd rather not feel. Anxiety, grief, a hard decision. The screen offers somewhere else to be. And presence, the feeling that you're not alone, even when you are. That last one matters most. The phone simulates connection. It's a thin version of the real thing, but the brain accepts it. For a while. Then the hunger returns because thin connection doesn't truly fill you. So you reach again, not for the phone, really, for what it's standing in for. And that's the key insight. The phone is a symptom, not the disease. Underneath the scrolling is usually boredom, loneliness, or avoidance. Treat only the phone, and the need just finds another outlet. Treat the need, and the grip of the phone naturally loosens. Now let's name the other half of this. You are not the customer here. When a product is free, you are usually the product being sold. What's being sold is your attention and your time to advertisers. These apps are built by teams of brilliant designers and psychologists. Their explicit goal is to maximize the time you spend looking. Every color, every sound, every red dot is tested on millions. That little red badge? Designed to feel like an unmet obligation. Red means urgent. Numbers mean something is unfinished. Both pull at you. None of this is your imagination. It's a $100 billion industry, pointed with precision at the oldest instincts in your brain. So when you fail to put the phone down, understand what you're up against. You're not weak. You're outmatched by design. There's a difference. And that difference matters because shame keeps you stuck. Understanding sets you free to act. So let's talk about what actually works. And spoiler, it isn't trying harder. Trying harder is the trap. The first tool is friction. Make the easy thing slightly harder. Move the apps off your home screen. Log out. Leave the phone in another room. Every extra step gives your slow, wiser brain a chance to catch up. Small friction beats big willpower. Every single time. The second tool is replacement. You can't just remove a behavior. The brain hates a vacuum. Remove the phone, and it craves a substitute. So decide in advance what you'll reach for instead. A book, a breath, a glass of water, a short walk, a real face. When the urge rises, the replacement is already chosen. No deciding required. The third tool is sitting with the discomfort, just for a moment. The urge to check is a wave. It rises, it peaks, and it passes. Most urges fade in about 90 seconds if you don't feed them. You don't have to fight the wave. You just have to not surf it. Each time you let an urge pass, the pattern weakens a little, and a new pattern, calmer, freer, slowly takes its place. This is the same neuroplasticity that trapped you, now working for you. Notice none of these tools require you to hate yourself first. They require understanding, and a little design, and some patience with yourself. So let's come back to where we started. You picking up the phone again. Only now you see the whole machine behind that small motion. Reward whispering maybe. Threat whispering danger. Belonging whispering don't be left out. And under all of it, a simple human need, asking to be met. You are not addicted because you are broken. You are responding exactly as designed to a system built to capture your response. That isn't weakness. That is being human in a world built to exploit it. And being human is not a problem to fix. It's a starting point to work from. The phone will still buzz. The pull will still come. That part won't vanish. But now there's a gap between the buzz and your hand. And in that gap lives your freedom. You don't have to win every time. You just have to widen that gap a little. Because the goal was never to defeat the phone. It was to reclaim your attention. And your attention is your life. So spend it like it matters. Because it does.